What's up, guys? It's Chris.
What's up, guys? It's Chris. You're watching Plumbing Explained, and this is Unclogged, episode 25. So, once again, we're going to be featuring the Spartan Model 81. This is one of the best machines, if not the best cable machine you can buy as a residential service and repair plumber. If you disagree, let me know down in the comments what machine you prefer over this. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to take a combination of machines for you to be able to outperform this machine. Look how quick and easy this drum swap is. This machine's basically two separate pieces. It's the frame and then the motor and the pulley. So you attach the drum with two thumb screws to the frame. And normally you would have two sets for each drum, so you wouldn't have had to screw these thumb screws into the drum and unscrew them out of the other drum. I just lost mine. I'm ordering some through Spartan, but Spartan's having some trouble sending things out right now. So once you attach this back to the frame, once you throw the new drum on and it's attached back to the frame, you just throw the belt back around the drum and you put some tension on it by pulling the motor away, and then you tighten two other little thumb screws and you're back in business. The red portion of the machine is on like these little slides, so you're able to put, I'll use like my knife or a pry bar, anything. The handles of my channel locks I'll stick in between the drum and the red portion there to pry them apart, to put some tension onto the belt and tighten the two little thumb screws in front there, and you're ready to go. Whoa, look at the tip on that thing. That's a thick tip right there. I think I can't remember if it's quarters of an inch or ½ inch thick. I'm gonna have to look at it tomorrow. But yeah, that's a thick tip for that 5/16 cable. That's what really helps with the Spartan cables, helps push stuff down the line, helps give that cable some weight, helps it drop down lines, helps it when it's binding up, it creates more torque, I believe, because that head is so thick. It helps the little wire kind of bind up and get that torque going. I don't know if you can imagine it in your head, but the tip is real thick and it catches the clog and that little thin cord starts to bind up. But because the thin cord is so strong and rigid and has an inner core, it helps that thick tip break right through the clog. So if you followed the series and you're a service and repair guy and you don't have one of these modified trap arms yet, you're totally missing out, dude. You need to make one tomorrow, especially if you deal with a lot of these tubular style P-traps with the slip joint nuts and washers. Dude, being able to run water while snaking is huge. Makes a huge difference. If you don't have a clean out, you definitely need one of these modified trap arms on your truck. You also need to make sure that the tip of your cable has that little hockey stick style bend in it. That really helps clean these residential lines. So I really kind of just did the modified trap arm to kind of show you guys and demonstrate it. This is a Jack and Jill sink, and I'm trying to drop down the T in the middle. It's very difficult. They already had somebody come out who tried and wasn't able to do it. But I've always been good at this, but I'm getting even better at being able to drop down the T's now, especially using the 5/16 cable with the drop head and the hockey stick bend on the tip. So I've found with these Jack and Jill sinks, your best bet is to take the trap off and run your machine in reverse and run it slowly. Push it slowly down the pipe. And while you're pushing it, apply pressure upward. And while you're doing that, that's going to force the cable to kind of want to naturally bend downward, especially if you've got the drop head and that hockey stick bend on the tip. So while you're applying pressure upward, as soon as it gets to that T, if you're pushing slow enough, it should want to find its way down that T. It also matters a lot what material the pipe is made out of inside the wall. Like right here we've got ABS that I'm running through, but this is just ABS stubbed out of cast iron, and I know it's cast iron in the wall because this is a condo complex and it was built before a certain year, and I know for a fact that this area is plagued with the whole cast iron in the wall situation. Even some of the bigger custom homes have cast iron all inside the walls. And cast iron is much harder to get through, especially in this type of situation with the Jack and Jill sinks and the Y in the wall like this. Um, Cast iron is much harder to get a drop on because the way that it corrodes and gunks up, it's more than likely that to drop down this Y was going to be very difficult for anybody without the proper tools and the proper experience. So I had tried to use my 1/4 inch flex shaft before this as well, and I had a really heavy tip on it and wasn't able to get that to drop down the Y. So that's how you know it was pretty rough, because I spun it the whole way through. In theory, you'd think it would have found its way down, but it must have skipped right over. One thing I hadn't thought about until filming this video, and this may be funny if you had already thought about this, let me know down in the comments. With these Jack and Jill side-by-side sinks, you could probably stick your mini camera down one side. You pull both traps, you stick your mini camera in one side and your snake or flex shaft, whatever you're using, in the other side, and being able to see where the drop is, you can focus on that area and get it to drop with very little effort. I mean, you wouldn't, everything I did here in this video was just guesswork, because I've done this so many times. I can tell when I'm hitting a fitting, when I'm going down, when I'm going up. There's a certain art to this, believe it or not, but there really is. All the drain guys know that. And it's a lot of fun to clean drains. It's a lot of fun to unclog drains. If you're a plumber out there who's like one of those guys that's above cleaning and unclogging drains, you're passing up a lot of money, man, and it's really fun, satisfying, fulfilling work. And I know for some guys it's kind of intimidating, like they don't want to get into something they don't fully know or understand. But, just buy your equipment, be careful, watch videos on how guys do it. If you follow my series, I give tons of tips and tricks, and, I'm fully transparent on how I do everything. I'm like the mass magician for plumbing over here. And I will tell you, in plumbing, having nice equipment really goes a long way. Like, on my channel, I have reviews for a lot of different snakes and drain cleaning devices and just tools and plumbing tools in general. But a lot of people found this channel through my Harbor Freight review of the little Bauer drill snake that looks like a machine gun. I love that thing. Unfortunately, it got stolen when my truck was stolen. But, and I'm going to replace that machine. I miss it. A lot of people ask about it. But that machine couldn't hold a candle to the Spartan machine that I use. The Spartan machine that I use is amazing compared to that machine. I mean, it's amazing, period, but they aren't even in the same class. You cannot compare them. You couldn't compare that Bauer to my rigid machines, my K9 machines, or even my Bearflex shaft. You couldn't compare that Bauer to really any of the current lineup I have on my truck now. But I still want it because there's days where I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to swap drums, even though you saw how quick that was. And there's just something about that Bauer machine gun looking thing that's just kind of cool, right? I mean, let's be honest, I like the way that thing looks. I have always thought about buying the Milwaukee little handheld gun drill snake, but to be honest with you, I would rather have the Bauer. The Bauer, as I've spoken of before a couple of years ago, has more power because it plugs in. The Bauer has more power because it plugs in, and it's just I feel like you just get more out of it. Another thing, if you're going to use the modified trap arm adapter like I use, get one of those big empty troughs like I just had under there, man. That thing's awesome when you're running water and snaking the line at the same time. Alright, so you unclog the drain. It's a job well done, money in the bank. Time to wrap up and stress test that drain before you leave to make sure that you don't get called back. Make sure that you put that drain through everything that your customer could potentially put that drain through. Fill it up multiple times. You definitely want to use hot water only, especially if you're working on a cast iron drain line like I was. That'll help cut that gunk and grease and everything else down, and it'll keep that drain clear for a little bit longer. What a view. Look at those gorgeous boots. And you know what? They're made in America. I'm doing a whole series on work boots, guys, so stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like button. Leave a comment down below. What work boots do you wear? What work boots have lasted you throughout your career? I want to hear it. I want to buy them. I want to put them through test and show you here on the channel. Alright, guys? Make sure you share the video, like, subscribe, and take care, guys.
Drain being a pain, the brown won't go down. Time to deploy Uncle Elroy. He's got the longest snake around. Need to clear your pipes without any gripes. Old Uncle Elroy's the guy for the job. He's getting shit done without being a slob. So give the man a like and go and hit subscribe. It's gonna save you money, save you time. He'll teach you how to plumb and won't charge a dime.